we're in a bit of a light spot, and I'm using the opportunity to just check inside the foil cases, and I'm just looking for chafe on lines, any kind of damage to the structure, looking at the bearings, just making sure it's all right before we hit accelerate again. Taking the hatch off, let's just go inside. Here is super useful having a camera with you, because you can use it to see places I can't get to, and just looking all around under there. Oh, that looks okay. Go up in the other side, but we'll check the head of that one there. All the lines to the tunnel and the jammers. It's the not so glamorous side of what we do. Taking every opportunity to just make sure everything's okay, and crawling into tiny, black, sweaty spaces. Good morning from on board Medallia. It's another beautiful morning. Could do with a few more knots of wind, but at least we've got wind. Last night was quieter than I expected, so kind of didn't make the progress I was hoping. But in general, I'm pretty happy with the last 36 hours. So all the investment I made to the west, that painful time of being down kind of ranked in the 30s, I banked all of that in the last 36 hours and have climbed up to 16th last time I looked, which means I'm kind of back in touch with the newer generation foilers, which is where I wanted to be. It's still so early days, but generally I feel a bit happier about that. On board is pretty good. I've spent the last 48 hours really giving my boat some attention. So it looks like we're going to be on this port tack for 5 days to a week at least. So I've taken the opportunity just to really go through the boat. Checks, bit of maintenance, and then last night I even climbed inside the foil case to check the foil. I just want to stay ahead of any issues that we might have. So when conditions get a little bit more wild, I'm not trying to battle problems or do maintenance. I'm feeling good. I'm much happier to have kind of made a good decision on my strategy, and I think I've found my pace and my rhythm. I've always said one of the great privileges about this sport is that for months on end, we have permission to be only focused on one thing, and my only job is to manage this environment. I need to give this my full attention, I need to give it my full creativity, I need to give it my full energy, and not really a lot else is expected of me, and that's just an immense privilege to be able to do that. And so yeah, I'm kind of leaning into that now and quite enjoying it. I am looking forward to today because it's I get to change my clothes today. Woohoo! Starting to feel a little bit grimy, but it's a clean clothes day, which means I'm definitely, if the conditions stay like this, I'm definitely going to grab a bucket of seawater and throw it over myself before I get some clean clothes, which will be nice. And yeah, all is good on Medallia. We're 8 degrees north and approaching where the doldrums normally are. And that's the intertropical conversion zone. So it's an area where different winds, different climates meet, and there's a large amount of instability there as a result. And we can see this today in the form of clouds. So it's all about clouds today. There's a satellite image so there's the coast of Brazil down there, and there's Africa, and you can see all this cloud here, which is where the ICTZ is. And if we zoom in, So that dot there represents my position. So I'm just going in the kind of the hotter areas on the map are where the cloud is thicker. So it's higher, there's more rain in it, potentially more activity around it. So you can see I'm just entering to try and cross this area in the shortest distance possible. And we can see that outside. There you can see very heavy dark clouds there. So there's the sky I came from. And there we're heading into the Badlands. Lots of cloud there. So just need to be careful. The cloud activity can bring squalls, so sudden increases in wind strength and also no wind at all. And on the radar here we can see that cloud up to the side, we can see it just there. And then ahead, look, there's a nasty little fella there, just there. So I'm going to do my best to avoid that, and I'll be looking at the radar for the next day or so just to try and keep on top of it. So we had quite a good run last night through the doldrums. I was pretty pleased with that. We just didn't stop, which was what was needed. I was looking really carefully at satellite images and trying to kind of weave my way down the clouds. We popped out the other side and I'm clawing away. It's tough from now though, because there's no strategy really for like 4 days other than just sailing fast. So although we've done a phenomenal amount of work to get this beast up to, you know, a new level of performance in terms of straight line speed, reaching in particular, I can't hang on to 2024 and 2020 generation boats. And that's kind of as it should be. I mean, you wouldn't want to fork out for a brand new boat if you weren't sure it was the next level up in performance. But that means my job is just to sail fast, sail as fast as I can, try and keep in touch. So if there's another chance to use the brain, I can take it. So I've set up a little station out here. I'm sleeping out here as well. So I've got rid of the chair and I've put a beanbag out here so I can sleep out here. I've got my sounds, Aretha in the background. I've got a cup of tea, because it's never too hot for a cup of tea. And a very precious apple, which I'm kind of looking at. I enjoy looking at it, and then at some point I'll eat it. 11 days in, and I think I've probably still got about 2 weeks worth of apples left. Thank you, Kate, for that. Phenomenal job at packing my apples. But I can see really good view of my sails here. I can see up the back of the mainsail. Quick to all of my controls. Got all the data I need on the screen there. A mirror from the computer there. No reason not to go to work. You're joining me for the countdown to the equator. Just under 1 mile to go and we will be in the southern hemisphere. Feels like it's been a bit of a slog getting down here, so we definitely need to celebrate this moment. We've got some tunes. I've got a parrot, and I don't normally do sacrifices to Neptune. Not really my thing, but I quite like the Southern Ocean to go well, so I'm going to hedge my bets. And I'm thinking, all these French boats going across the equator, Neptune might be a bit sick of wine and champagne and all things alcoholic. So what have I got that really shows my respect for the ocean? That shows I really want this to work. Got a cup of tea and a piece of Grace's date cake, which I will share with the mighty Neptune.
Let's kick it off.
Here we go! Yes! Okay. Bye, Neptune. This is valuable. And I'm going to give you half a piece. As a token of my great respect, wash down with a cup of tea. Let's do this. Let's go to the Southern Ocean. So now I'm off the coast of Brazil. I know it seems crazy. We need to turn left at the bottom of Africa, but the fastest route is actually to go to Brazil and work our way around the St. Helena High rather than just going down the coast of Africa. And we've got about 3 or 4 days of conditions like this, which is just fast reaching. So for me, that's kind of a little bit limiting with my boat because my boat's 8 years old now. And I'm just I'm leading the pack of boats of my generation and nipping at the heels of the boats that are newer than me. But when it's just kind of straight line speed like this, I do suffer a bit. So I think the next week really is really important for me just to be good in my head, be rested, keep checking the boat, but also not punish myself if I'm losing miles against the front of the fleet. Because further down the track there'll be opportunity to make good tactical decisions, and that's where I hopefully will be able to gain some places again. It's hot, it's really hot. Down below it's over 30 degrees, so trying to get any respite or any rest is very difficult, and you can see up on deck it's pretty wet, so even trying to kind of get out into the breeze to cool down, get wet and salty. So yeah, it's kind of Hobson's choice really. Beautiful sunrise this morning, which is some sort of compensation for a frustrating half an hour. I went to do a sail change and my furling line broke again. It's the same one, I repaired it last time, but I'm going to have to replace it now. And you know, these things happen, but I've got 2 boats absolutely breathing down my neck. Doing 18 knots, and I'm kind of doing 5, trying to sort this problem out, and obviously the gap gets smaller, and we're pretty well matched on speed, so it's going to be hard to make that gap bigger again. These things happen, and they're going to happen to everyone, and the way to deal with them is just to deal with them well. Make sure you solve the problem at the time. Don't rush it, and try and keep a clear head. So that's what I'm trying to do. So my job for today is changing out a furling line. Right now, I'm going to have a cup of tea in the sunrise. So when I've been tidying ropes out that come out of the tunnels here for the last couple of days, on both sides, I've noticed a really strong smell of dead fish, and I have looked everywhere for this living dead fish. I mean, I've taken every rope out, I've looked in every pocket, cannot find the dead fish, but the smell is getting stronger. And then this morning I ran the engine for the first time in ages because I had to make water, and while I was here I thought I would open up the cathedral and have a look inside just to check everything. So you can see the water pouring down the cathedral there. So all those ropes go up through a hole on the deck. Water comes down, and evidently fish come down as well, because the smell in there is unbelievable. But I'm not opening it up now because it's a bit wet. So basically underneath there, there's just a hole, and that hole down to the head of the keel, my arms aren't long enough to get in there. The water circulates through there, but through small slits on each side of the keel, so definitely not big enough for a dead fish to get through. So that fish is with me now, and it's only going to get worse.